First, I'd like to say that this meeting is the outgrowth of a meeting that I had with members of my staff and my closest advisors in the Southern Christian Leadership Conference at Black Mountain, North Carolina, a few weeks ago. At that time, we agreed that we should make the state of Alabama our chief state and chief center of work for our program in 1964. It was agreed that we would call a statewide conference of our affiliates and other interested groups to assess the possibility for such a massive assault on the system of segregation in Alabama. And I'm happy to say that we have the absolute endorsement of the more than 200 leaders who have assembled here from some 30 counties in the state of Alabama. I would like to read a statement that grows out of this meeting and mention the proposals that were agreed on in this conference. We have viewed with dismay the tragically slow pace of the Negro's progress toward full emancipation in the state of Alabama, enforced by the demagoguery of the racist forces in the machinery of government. Despite the pressures of the whole tide of history, Alabama has given only begrudging obedience to the federal law and the spirit of the Constitution of the United States. The Negro, for the most part, has been rendered politically important through the poll tax, literacy tests, and the naked physical intimidation. The right to vote, in fact, does not exist for the black man in Alabama. As a consequence, despite the fact that we comprise 39% of the total population, that the Negro has no role in government whatsoever. We are so politically emasculated that we are unable to exert political influence. Thusly, we suffer the indignity of being politically and economically exploited. We travel the highways of our state without the bare human comfort of adequate food and lodging. We have been cheated and robbed in public education, and Jim Crow health services skyrocket our mortality rate. We have not lost sight of the fact that the nonviolent revolution was born in Montgomery. For that reason, our meeting today signals a beginning of a statewide all-out effort of our civil rights forces against the institution of segregation and discrimination in Alabama, with Montgomery as our operational headquarters, to rid our state of these terrible byproducts of a vicious and evil system. We do here today pledge our commitment to the following proposals. I might say that this is the beginning of a full-scale, all-out attack on the system of segregation and discrimination in Alabama. We plan to have this campaign touch all of the major and large communities in the state, as well as the small communities and small counties. Now, the first part of the work of this massive movement will be that of intensifying, or rather increasing the number of Negro registered voters. We have voted today to engage in an all-out effort to increase the number of Negro registered voters in Alabama in this election year. We will also mobilize forces all over the state to see that every Negro has the right to vote, and we shall employ whatever nonviolent techniques are necessary to implement this one-man, one-vote concept. We have also voted to engage in selective buying campaigns in communities all over the state of Alabama. This simply means that we are urging every affiliate and all of the communities in this state to work to get better jobs for Negroes by refusing to support businesses and industries that refuse to adopt a non-discriminatory policy and hire Negroes on an equal basis. We hope that this will touch all of the major industries and businesses, and this will be launched immediately. We will also work on a national level for the passage of the Civil Rights Bill, and if this bill is passed intact with the public accommodations section passed as it is presently standing in the House and as it goes to the Senate, we will use Alabama, or rather will make Alabama, our chief testing ground and chief testing state for this public accommodations bill. If the Civil Rights Bill does not pass, we will continue to engage in massive demonstrations to break down all of the barriers of segregation in public accommodations. And finally, we shall appeal to the Congress of the United States to reduce the number of representatives from the state of Alabama to conform to the actual voting population until such time that the unhampered use of the ballot is extended to every citizen of color in Alabama, not alone in the urban centers. This is certainly a real possibility and probability. We feel that demonstrations are necessary in Alabama to bring the issue of racial injustice to the surface and to place this issue before the forefront of the conscience of the nation. And so it is altogether possible and probable that in the very near future, a Birmingham-type movement will again take place in the state of Alabama. We come to Montgomery today for this meeting because we feel that Montgomery may well be the center for such activity, being the capital of the state, and we also remain cognizant of the fact that it was in this community that the Negro started his stride toward freedom in the nonviolent movement, and it may be necessary to come back here and carry on a stride into freedom.
Thank you, sir. And now for the second part of the same question. Right before the massive march in Washington, D.C., there was talk, I'm not sure if it was announced, you think it might go on to Birmingham Corporation?
Here again, this is altogether possible. We feel that the right to vote is not a reality in the state of Alabama, and it may be necessary to have a massive march on the state capitol, and I should say a nonviolent, peaceful massive demonstration in the capital of the state in order to protest the injustices that Negroes face in seeking to register, and in order to demand the unhampered right to vote. Yes, these are the two main methods, selective buying and demonstrations. And of course, in communities where we do not face problems in seeking to register to vote, we will seek to increase the number in those communities, and in communities where we find problems, we will definitely seek to have demonstrations around the right to vote. Well, I don't like to predict violence because I found that too often the prediction of violence is an unconscious invitation to it. I hate to talk about it. However, realism and honesty impel me to admit that if this civil rights bill does not pass with the public accommodation section, the equal employment section, and cutting off federal funds in communities that refuse to desegregate, then I think America is in for a dark night of social disruption. I think we will see demonstrations on a scale much larger and much more extensive than anything that we've ever seen. You mean... No, we would not ask people who are already on jobs, Negroes who are already on jobs in industries that discriminate, to leave the jobs. We will only seek to get these industries to take on new Negroes and upgrade other Negroes who may already be working there. And if they refuse to do it, then we will, and we will urge our people not to support these businesses, hoping that through this kind of pressure, they will be brought to the point where they will have to hire more Negroes.
Reverend King.
I can't say at this point. Certainly the President has made it crystal clear that he is for the Civil Rights Bill. He's made it clear to me in private conversations and to others, and he's made it clear publicly. Now, in this statement that he's made, he's stated that he will... Well, we feel that whenever the problem of desegregation can be worked out across the conference table, it should be done. We believe firmly in the value of positive, good faith negotiations. But we do insist that these negotiations must be good faith negotiations, and too often we have found that biracial committees in communities are window dressing committees, and there are all too many people on the committees who, because of their positions, cannot take a forthright stand. So that if the problem can be solved through negotiation, this is all for the good, and we would certainly want to support that. But time is running out in Montgomery, and nothing has been done in a positive way to desegregate facilities here, lunch counters and other things. And we feel that the hour has come for Montgomery, Alabama, to face the truth on this issue. This is Montgomery's moment of truth.
Do you feel that the committees appointed in Montgomery then are the type that you were talking about at this time?
Well, I don't know at this point. I do plan to meet with the board of the Montgomery Improvement Association while I'm here. In fact, we'll be meeting in a few minutes. I will be talking with persons in this community who are concerned about the problems and who are working, and some of these persons are on the committee. And after talking with them, I'm sure I will be able to ascertain or to determine whether this committee is a good faith committee or whether it's just another window dressing committee that will serve to delay and to evade rather than to confront the issue of desegregation.
Reverend King,
No, I couldn't say that right now. I would